Pakistan, and I had a good chance of working in GIK Institute right from the beginning, and to maintain the quality and standards with 260 universities. Pakistan has done well.
Tier B, Tier C यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के अंदर भी आपकी जो क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन है ना इंटैक्ट रहती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज.
I think there is a need for change. You look at them in some very well-known organization in Pakistan. Pakistan was the third country who got full signatory status after Malaysia, Turkey, and third one was Pakistan.
जो आपके बड़े इदारे हैं, आपकी MBBS कंपनीज है या फिर बिग 4 हैं, they are claiming पाकिस्तान एक अच्छी इकॉनमी इमर्ज करेगा 2050, 2060, 2075 तक.
Next month, there is going to be International Engineering Alliance meeting in India. I think Dr. Akib Khan and GIK and his team with the eminent people from international contributed in a significant way, and they wanted to have a quality institution in the country. And the industry also realized that without innovation and quality and R&D, they may not be able to compete with the competitors. और ये जो हमारी है, और इस पे दुनिया में भी डिबेट हो रही है कि ये 4-year degree program, can it be done in 3 years or something like that, or in a shorter time, or in a condensed kind of a program. Many other countries, why can't we follow Chinese model, Turkish model, or so many other जिन्होंने poverty alleviation के अंदर इतना ज़बरदस्त काम किया है.
Welcome back to another episode of Startup Pakistan podcast, and this is your host Sohaib Siddiqui. Khwateen wa Hazrat, for a very long time, I wanted to have discussion someone from the academia, someone who has kept an eye on Pakistan's education policy, what government has done since independence, or what could have been done different. और $1 million क्वेश्चन के पाकिस्तान की जो यूथ पॉपुलेशन है बाय 2030 दैट वुड बी 100 मिलियन. क्या पाकिस्तान की यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के अंदर इतनी कैपेसिटीज़ है कि उनको क्वालिटी एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड कर सके? टू गेट द आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन वी हैव इनवाइटेड अ वेरी टैलेंटेड एंड डायनामिक पर्सनैलिटी. करंटली ही हैपन्स टू बी रेक्टर GIK इंस्टीट्यूट, जनाब फजल खालिद साहब. सर, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम.
शुक्रिया जी, थैंक यू.
अच्छा सर, गुफ्तगू थोड़ा स्टार्ट करते हैं. थोड़ा सा मैं समझना चाहूँगा आपकी अर्ली लाइफ को, अर्ली एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड को, कहाँ से आपका ताल्लुक था, वेयर यू born and raised?
Thank you very much. I belong to Qusur, and my early education actually was in Qusur city and government college, and then I joined UET Lahore for bachelor degree program in metallurgy and material engineering. Then I had a chance to work in Karachi, Pakistan Steel Mill. At that time, the steel mill was at a very growing stage with 1.1 million capacity. And then soon after I joined the steel mill, within 2 weeks I went to Russia for training program. So I stayed there for about 6 months.
और ये steel mills अपने employee के लिए training के लिए इतना करता था?
Because it was established in collaboration with Russian government project and completely.
और ये 1980s का time होगा, 1980s का?
Absolutely. And then after coming back from Russia, training on rolling mills and very important production line they have set up in Pakistan with many other additional facilities and a huge complex with the Russian colony, Pakistanis, and residential area, and the growing project with the downstream industrial plan at that time. Unfortunately, could not happen the way the government has planned. And then later on, I joined Pakistan Research Council, Pakistan Industrial Research Council, PCSIR, Scientific and Industrial Research Council, and stayed there for 2 years. And then I got the opportunity for scholarship and went to Oxford for PhD program.
और ये कौन सा टाइम था ऑक्सफोर्ड के अंदर?
I joined in late 80s and then I completed my PhD in 92. Then I got opportunity for postdoc, and the postdoc was related to work on defense related project. Not very many Pakistani get the opportunity to work on UK MOD related projects, but I was fortunate to work, and my specialization during my PhD and later on was related to electron microscopy, and at that time Oxford was one of the top 3-4 research centers with high resolution electron microscopy in the world. One in Oxford, Cambridge, and then Berkeley, and the other one in Holland, Netherlands, which is the home of Philips at that time, and then Japan. Now almost all universities in Pakistan have all these instrument and modern facilities and infrastructure. But at that time, getting training and learning on these very specialized equipment was really something unique.
And how is
And that has put me into another continuation where I could correlate all that synthesis and characterization towards nanotechnology, and that's how things got started.
और उस टाइम पे कैसा टाइम गुजरा ऑक्सफोर्ड पे, क्योंकि बिकॉज ऑक्सफोर्ड एक बड़ा प्रेस्टिजियस किस्म का आपका इदारा होता है और हर पाकिस्तान का ड्रीम होता है जाके ऑक्सफोर्ड से बैचलर मास्टर या पीएचडी करना. तो बैक इन दोज डेज आपने कैसा
Yeah,
पाया?
absolutely. I mean, and I have three institutions are very important, let me add, and UET, from where I got degree program, bachelor, Oxford, where I stayed almost 6-7 years, 2 years in Leeds, University of Leeds, UK, and then most of the part of my life at the GIK Institute, because it was established in 1993. And at that time, I came in contact when Dr. Eki Khan wanted to have first conference on advanced materials. And I was student of PhD DPhil at that time when I attended and presented my first paper in Islamabad in a conference organized at that time on advanced material. So I mean, that idea was to strengthen the manufacturing base in the country and to promote the industrial expansion and opportunities for the youth of country. And unless you have the strong manufacturing base and heavy industry in any country, you can't really make much progress. Then you become dependent to buy everything from raw materials to very basic kind of material that are needed, whether it's construction, whether it's steel, whether it's cement, or many other areas where you need to have infrastructure development, all these materials and the I would say the low cost energy to promote industry. And these are the challenges Pakistan still is facing, and let's hope and pray things will get better.
इंशाल्लाह. अच्छा, आपका एक्सपीरियंस बाहर का भी एजुकेशन का अच्छा खासा टाइम आपने बाहर गुजारा. पाकिस्तान में आप समझते हैं, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान में आप यूटी लाहौर के वीसी रहे हैं, अभी जीआईके के आप रेक्टर हैं. तो जनरली अगर आप कंपेयर करना चाहें क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन को, क्या मेजर डिफरेंस नज़र आते हैं आपको बाहर के एजुकेशन के अंदर और पाकिस्तान के अंदर?
I think Pakistan is doing well as far as higher education is concerned, and I had a good chance of working in GIK Institute right from the beginning, and to maintain the quality and standards with unique kind of outcomes, and for which we are all in the senior management very proud of, that our graduates and students have done very well, not only in Pakistan but also abroad in multinational companies. As far as higher education sector is concerned, there are many challenges, but there are a lot of good things which have happened in the last 20 plus years. Expanded in a big way. If you look at the higher education, higher education has transformed world over. It started as elite education system all over the world, then into massive education, and now it's a universal. Now all the countries, if you look at 20 years back, the kind of enrollment and the number of universities, it has expanded enormously. It's exponential growth, not only in Pakistan but also world over. And if you look in Pakistan, there are about now 260 universities in public and private sectors. And of course, when you try to increase the access to higher education, then quality become a very big challenge. Now there are other challenges like skills, which are required by the industry, and to update our graduates with the modern technologies in the emerging fields of science, engineering and technology. These challenges are there, but I think at the same time, with 260 universities, Pakistan has done well. We are still at 13%, roughly 13-14% of the enrollment, comparing the population and the youth bulge we have. So it's our responsibility in institutions, in government departments, and at the government level in policy making institutions to ensure not only to enhance the enrollment of our students, but also to encourage and provide them the kind of skill set so that we can enhance their employability opportunities and they can contribute in the development of society.
एक बड़ा कॉमन मसला नज़र आता है स्टूडेंट्स के अंदर व्हेन दे गो आउट फॉर मास्टर्स या पीएचडी के लिए, जो पाकिस्तानी सिस्टम से गए होते हैं, बाहर जाके उनको दोबारा से अपने स्किल्स को दोबारा से ब्रश अप करना पड़ता है. मे बी शायद उनके स्किल्स डेवलप नहीं होते कंपेयर टू द बाकी फॉरेन कंट्रीज़ के, तो उनको इतनी डिफिकल्टी नहीं होती. तो वे डू थिंक कि लैकनेस कहाँ पे आ रही है?
आई थिंक ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट है हमारे जो क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन है और करिकुलम है. आई थिंक देयर इज़ अ नीड फॉर चेंज और उसके अंदर फिर देयर इज़ अनदर important stakeholder and that is the faculty. As we are talking about expansion in world over as far as higher education sector is concerned, but then we don't really have very many good faculty members. So training of faculty and the quality of faculty is also very important for our country and abroad as well. So there is a demand for good faculty to be available to undertake all these assignments and developments which are happening in the technology to integrate and embed it into curriculum so that all the outcomes are attained by the graduates. But generally I can say that our students do pretty well in spite of the challenges and the background they come from. Once they go abroad for higher studies, master, PhD, they manage well, and of course they have to undertake some basic foundational courses or additional courses. I hardly had any experience when I went to Oxford on electron microscopy, and it was one of the challenging area of research. You can apply this field not only in material science but also in medical sciences and also in forensic. So it's a very interdisciplinary kind of techniques and tools through which, and now you cannot actually move into modern developments when we talk about nanotechnology, when things are changing fast in terms of miniaturization with much greater performance and their output, storage capacity, electronic devices, materials, semiconductor, electronic materials. So all these actually would require instruments of high quality with precision and accuracy so that you can go to atomic level and bring the kind of changes you would like to have so that you can come up with the new kind of material much better in performance and durability and sustainability.
चलिए ये वो तमाम चीज़ें होगी आपके इक्विपमेंट की, ये आपकी लैब्स के अंदर, टेस्टिंग के अंदर, या आप फिर टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द डिग्री आप ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट इस्तेमाल कर रहे होते हैं. लेकिन ड्यूरिंग द आपकी पूरी डिग्री के अंदर आपका जो करिकुलम है ना, जितने हम इंटरेक्ट करते हैं स्टूडेंट के साथ, उनके दो बड़े मेजर मसले होते हैं. नंबर वन, जो टीचर्स हैं मे बी दे ग्रेजुएटेड इन 80s या 90s के अंदर, अब जो वो नॉलेज लेके आ रहे होते हैं वो एक तो नॉलेज भी आपका रिडंडेंट हो चुका होता है, नंबर वन. सेकेंडली, उनको इंडस्ट्री का इतना एक्सपोजर नहीं होता क्योंकि 80s की चीज़ें फिर आप 2010 के बाद और पोस्ट कोविड काफ़ी चीज़ें बदल चुकी हुई हैं. आपकी इंडस्ट्री में कुछ और डिमांड है, पीछे कुछ और पढ़ाया जा रहा है. नंबर वन ये, इसको आप कैसे कवर करते हैं या किया जा सकता है पाकिस्तान के अंदर. सेकेंडली, करिकुलम के ऊपर मुझे थोड़ा गाइड करें कि करिकुलम डिसाइड लेट्स से कौन कह रहा होता है? इंस्टीट्यूट की पॉलिसी होती है, HSC गाइड करती है, PC करती है, कितने अरसे बाद कॉमन प्रैक्टिस क्या होती है? क्योंकि आई स्टिल रिमेंबर जब मैंने ग्रेजुएशन की थी और जो इंडस्ट्री में मैं गया था, ऑलमोस्ट 180 डिग्री चेंज हो चुका था. अगर एक्सपर्ट अगर आखिरी में आप आके देखेंगे तो इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा इनलाइटन करें हमें.
या आई थिंक ये जो आपने बात की है वो इज वेरी मच रेलेवेंट एंड मॉडर्न टाइम्स के अंदर द कॉन्सेप्ट इज़ लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग एंड गुड टीचर इज़ ए स्टूडेंट फॉर लाइफ टाइम. तो अगर आप इस पे नहीं काम करते और इफ़ यू थिंक दैट यू आर द बेस्ट राइट फ्रॉम द बिगनिंग, देन दैट मे नॉट टेक द पर्सन दैट फार. So you have to be up to date with the new developments and the changes and incorporate into your curriculum. That's why I feel research is very important. There is always point of debate in even in our institute that we should have a dichotomy in our hiring process, research-based faculty and people who are working on as a good teachers. But my own feeling is that I think unless you are a good researcher, you may not be able to contribute and make the student up to date what is happening into your own domain of knowledge, whether it's chemical engineering, civil engineering, material, electronics, or whatever. So research is very important, and if you look at the model world over, it's all the time research, teaching, as well as the services that you would like to provide. Yes, these are the challenges in our faculty, and I think one of the things which is missing is, and we have also started in our institute, is faculty training program, which is critical. You look at them in some very well-known organization in Pakistan, आर्मी के अंदर बड़ी रेगुलर ट्रेनिंग होती है, प्रमोशन ही नहीं हो सकती है. सो इज़ द केस विद सिविल सर्विस. एंड व्हेन आई वाज चेयरमैन PHEC, we were thinking at that time to develop policy and send it to the Punjab Assembly for a bill that the teachers should be licensed. So once you graduate, and then if you want to join any university or a college in the country or in the province, you should appear in a qualifying test and undergo a training program, and then you should be registered as a licensed engineer. Many countries are actually doing it. That gives you a minimum threshold that you may attain that pedagogical skills and the kind of requirement to handle and guide and advise the students as a teacher, as a facilitator. In modern time, teacher is not, at the center stage. We have implemented outcome-based education, and one of the unique feature of that is student-centered education. And that means the student is at the center stage of learning process, and teacher is a facilitator. And all the enabling environment, library, internet, and many other labs, projects, etc., are enabling facilitation provided to attain the goals and graduate attributes of the degree program. So faculty training program is very critical, and curriculum की आपने बात की है. I think it's also very important. University in Pakistan are autonomous as per act of the institution, but there are also very challenges, whether you are in public sector or in private sector. But generally there is a flexibility. You still have a lot of room to make the changes you would like to make, and that's what we have been doing in GIK Institute, and also I implemented in UET. But let me just quickly finish. And but actually it is the broad guidelines of curriculum which are provided by Higher Education Commission according to their act, and to an extent other regulator like Pakistan Engineering Council, Business Council, Computing Council, and many other, like in medical sciences, PMDC actually has a role to play to ensure that the curriculum is in modern time. I was vice chairman of Punjab, and I was also the accreditation head of PEC during my tenure from 18 to 21, and I contributed as a important forum in that forum to review the curriculums of engineering program. तो हमने कुछ 13-14 programs को review किया था, और उसमें बड़े latest जो हमने element थे introduce किए. और अभी पिछले 2 सालों में हमने, अगर आप prospectus देखें तो 2-3 हमने major intervention किए हैं. In spite of that, there is a regulation requirement. They still have the flexibility that we made first year common. We reduced the low-level skills and incorporated the high-level skills, coding, Python, and artificial intelligence, machine learning modules into first year for all students who have been admitted into various degree programs, including management sciences. And that has been taken very positively from the students, and has also enriched their experience so that they can actually now make up in the second, third year to have their plans, which way they would like to go, and what are their aspirations they would like to follow.
अच्छा, आपने जिक्र किया OBE का, जो कि आउटकम बेस्ड एजुकेशन है, तो इसका थोड़ा सा इनलाइटन करें, गाइड करें कि OBE से जो मुझे याद पड़ता है, पिछले दिनों कुछ न्यूज़ चली थी मीडिया के अंदर कि वाशिंगटन कोस्ट से आपकी डिग्री अप्रूव हो जाएगी, तो थोड़ा सा बताएं कि उस क्या हो चुकी है पाकिस्तान की तमाम यूनिवर्सिटीज़, या कुछ प्रोसेस में, अगर होने के बाद फ़ायदे क्या होंगे स्टूडेंट्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से?
दिस इज अनदर एरिया आई हैव बीन इन्वॉल्व्ड विद पाकिस्तान इंजीनियरिंग काउंसिल सिंस 2010, and there was the time when first delegation of PEC visited Ottawa, and we presented our case and Madam Rukhsana Zubairi, Senator, was leading that chair as the chairperson of Pakistan Engineering Council, and I gave the presentation, and we got the provisional status of Washington Accord. And after follow-up of all these activities and reviewing the processes and procedures in Pakistan Engineering Council and implementing in universities in Pakistan, in 17 we got the full signatory status. And primarily this forum actually is of International Engineering Alliance, where it's optional for any country to apply, but Pakistan was the third country who got full signatory status after Malaysia, Turkey, and third one was Pakistan. And now there are many other countries, Indonesia, Bangladesh are
इसका
in the
advantage
process.
students को
Yeah.
क्या होगा?
And I think this has really changed, and PEC as a regulator is the only I think a forum which actually has the recognition of the degree program internationally. There are about now I think around 30 members of this alliance, and they actually undertake and regulate 3 levels of education: bachelor degree program, Washington Accord for engineering program, and then engineering technology, which is dealt by the Sydney Accord, and then technician level, which is done by the Dublin Accord. So these are the 3. Pakistan, we have just been able to manage with the Washington Accord, and it's now been implemented. It was a very difficult, I would say, exercise that Pakistan Engineering Council has undertaken, but that has given the universities to come up to their level of quality, which is required to meet the mutual recognition of 30 countries. For example, ABIT, which offer and regulate and do the accreditation in America, ECUK in UK, is similarly Engineers Canada, Engineers Hong Kong, and many other countries who are member. So there is a mutual recognition. So if any degree program which is accredited by PEC is also recognized by ABIT, also by ECUK. So there is an international exposure and recognition, and that has also, I would say, enhanced the possibility of our graduates to have jobs in the Middle East as well as in European countries, in Canada, in US also, because there is a mutual recognition. So you don't have to go through the whole process of some kind of validation or peer-in kind of exams, etc., because you are as good as the other member countries are. So there is a mutual recognition of the qualification of these degree program. And the main feature is that we've been able to define the graduate attributes and focus on the performance and enhance the institutional capability of quality of the program offered by the universities. So there are different levels of quality assurance. University has to ensure, department has to ensure, and then the regulator will come, whether it's Pakistan Engineering Council or Higher Education Commission team will come and visit and see that you are in compliance with the standards and quality criteria required. And if you meet that requirement, then you are in, and you are accredited for further period of cycle. Let me just add also that next month there is going to be International Engineering Alliance meeting in India, and Pakistan has completed almost 6 years. And I have gone through this process. I was involved with the teams in PEC to work with them. And the international team visited, because their cycle is after every 6 years. They send a team of foreign experts to the member country and then see that if everything is okay in compliance with the requirements of the accord, then they will extend. So our case, which has been prepared after the visit of the international team, who visited this time NUST and NED. First time GIK and IST was included when the international team visited, and now our case is submitted for this meeting in India for the extension for the next 6-year cycle, and I'm also included in the delegation. So let's hope and pray that all things will move well, and we'll be able to successfully get the continuation of
अच्छा, इस
Washington
प्रोग्राम
Accord.
को ऐड करने के बाद या फिर एक्रीडिटेशन लेने के बाद आपकी एबेट है या फिर जो भी आपके काउंसिल्स हैं बाहर की, तो डिफरेंस कहाँ पे आता है? करिकुलम आपका चेंज हो रहा होता है या फिर कुछ क्वालिटी के स्टैंडर्ड्स बढ़ रहे होते हैं, जो कि कहाँ पे मेन डिफरेंस आता है फ्रॉम द स्टूडेंट परस्पेक्टिव? एक तो उनको रिकग्निशन मिल जाएगी इंटरनेशनल जॉब मार्केट के अंदर, लेकिन रियल ग्राउंड पे हो क्या रहा होता है?
Actually, you meet the minimum requirement. I mean, every word. Let me give you in a simple way. We cannot admit students if they are unable to score 60% in their FSC pre-engineering marks overall, and we have put additional effort requirement of weightage for math and physics. So this additional requirement, that's the minimum requirement, but the maximum is 200%. So you in the admission you get students applicant coming with the score of 80%, 90%, 99%. So I think when you go to the higher level of attainment of standards, then definitely the quality is different. So as the accords are concerned, they actually measure the processes and procedures that the minimum requirement is attained. But then over and above, there is always opportunity for improvement, the skill set, the environment, teachers, delivery, facilities, for example. Look at the budget, for example. We're talking about education sector. Look at the budget. We are spending less than 2% in Pakistan. Compared with China and European countries, they're much higher. I mean,
Even with Bangladesh.
With Bangladesh, we've been making slogans that for the last many years that it should be at least 4%, but we are not there yet. So I mean, and out of that, the research component is less than 1%. So then, of course, I mean, all these things are interconnected, and spending on education is actually investment for the youth of the country, and they're the leaders of tomorrow, and they have to take the lead in their own knowledge domain, working in different organizations, helping societies, and we have to focus on education and research and collaboration. And in modern times, the kind of skill set and the new and emerging fields coming up in a big way, whether it's metaverse or generative AI or LLM, and these are the modules we are trying to catch up and bring it into the curriculum. And where it is not possible, we are offering short courses, training programs, boot camps to enhance the capability of our graduates and
अच्छा, हमने
students.
इनिशियल बेंचमार्क या आप कह लें कि थ्रेशोल्ड तो इंक्रीज़ कर दिया, 60% मिनिमम मार्क्स रिक्वायर्ड होंगे एफएससी के अंदर या फिर जो भी आप कन्वर्ट करें वो लेवल्स के अंदर, ताकि टू गेट इनटू द इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री, ताकि क्वालिटी आपके बढ़ जाए. लेकिन एक फिनोमिना देखने में आता है कि आप बाहर बात करें फॉरेन के अंदर, टियर बी टियर सी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के अंदर भी आपकी जो क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन है ना इंटैक्ट रहती है इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज़. मे बी एक्सपोजर डिफरेंट होता है, कनेक्शन डिफरेंट होते हैं. पाकिस्तान में सेम जीकी लम्स की बात करेंगे तो शायद आपको एक्सपोजर ज़्यादा मिलेगा, लेकिन अगर टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज़ की बात करें ना तो वो चीज़ बड़ी आपकी रिडंडेंट या इरेलीवेंट हो जाती है व्हेन यू गो टू डाउन टू टियर 4 टियर 5 के अंदर. तो इसकी क्या वजूहत है? क्योंकि चलें समझ आता है कि एक्सपीरियंस नहीं मिलेगा, नेटवर्किंग नहीं मिलेगी, लेकिन करिकुलम डिफाइन आपका पीसी कर रहा है, एचईसी कर रही है, उनको इंप्लीमेंट भी करवा रहे हैं, आपने वहाँ से थ्रेशोल्ड भी बढ़ा दिया. इसके बावजूद भी अगर आप एक बच्चा उठाएं, आई एम नॉट नेमिंग एनी यूनिवर्सिटी, लेकिन अगर वहाँ से कंपेयर करें जो कि बैक पर रिमोट एरियाज़ के अंदर है और एक आप कर लें मेट्रोपॉलिटन से, बड़ा फ़र्क होगा टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज़ के अंदर. तो उसकी वजूहत क्या हो सकती है?
आई थिंक ये डिस्पैरिटीज़ हैं, और अगर आप देखें तो ये हमारी पॉलिसी का भी हिस्सा है कि गवर्नमेंट इज़ ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू फोकस मोर ऑन दोज एरिया विच आर लिटिल डिसएडवांटेज, जिसमें जो इक्विटी है at different levels, whether it's gender or it's area wise, has to be focused. And of course those and this is what we are trying, I mean, in terms of boot camp and open sessions when we make ad for the admission process. So we try to engage the applicants from far areas. Certainly they are unable to to match with any metropolitan city where they have much better advantage, or the school college they are going, trying to facilitate them. And this is also a kind of CSR on part of the institutions contributing and engaging. And I think we've been quite successful. Our alumni association is also doing quite well in this area. And if you look at the demography of GIK Institute, used to have a much higher number from Karachi, from Sindh and other areas, Balochistan. We still have good presence, and in our admission campaign we are trying to put more focus towards Balochistan, towards far areas of Sindh, minorities, and also see that how we can facilitate them, not only in the admission process, but also providing scholarship to those students, so that they can, and some of them have done very, very well. I mean, and they are now part of our alumni, and same is in other institutions like in UET. I mean, and over there, if you look at the network, it's in 80,000 alumni members in UET Lahore, and here we have about 7,000. But at both levels, creating, and alumni in modern time is another important stakeholders to help the institutions, universities, and our alumni association headed by Habil, and he is doing very good job in fundraising, providing scholarships, and then follow up on supporting the institute in internship programs, inviting various delegation, helping in seminar, conferences, workshops, etc. So these are the things we have to do, and most of the universities are now very well aware of the fact that it's not only in Pakistan, it's the global competitiveness that they have to bring in, and quality is also very significant. And I must also add here that in the recent years we also have seen a shift towards the interest of students joining different programs. There's a more emphasis towards management sciences, IT, computer science, new fields, rather than on hardcore engineering. So we have to create balance in a way that we should maintain the supply of our graduates in terms of a workforce, quality workforce required for the national development. Projects in which the engineers and graduates and managers would like to contribute.
अच्छा, इंजीनियरिंग की बात करें, जीआईके एक बड़ा रिनाउंड नेम है पाकिस्तान के अंदर, और मेरे ख्याल से वाहिद इदारा है जहाँ के ग्रेजुएट्स आपके एम्प्लॉयमेंट काफ़ी अच्छी होती है. अगर बात की जाए फ्रॉम द स्टूडेंट पर्सपेक्टिव, ऑब्वियसली वो चाहते हैं कि जीआईके में आके अपनी ग्रेजुएशन करें, लेकिन काफ़ी एक्सपेंसिव इंस्टीट्यूट है, करिकुलम सेम है, तो क्या यूनिक एक्सपीरियंस होता है जो कि जीकियंस को, जीआईके को जीकियंस बनाता होता है स्टूडेंट्स को?
आई थिंक अगर आप रिसेंट पर्सपेक्टिव में देखें तो हमारी ट्यूशन फ़ी, यू मे नॉट से दैट इट्स एक्सपेंसिव इंस्टीट्यूशन, लेकिन एक जर्नल स्टेटमेंट भी है, आई मीन क्वालिटी कम विद द कॉस्ट. आई मीन इस पे तो कोई दूसरी राय नहीं है ना. तो वेयर the tuition fee is less if we talk about government, then the government is actually providing the remaining support to run those programs. तो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जब इंस्टीट्यूट बना, आई थिंक डॉक्टर एकी खान एंड GIK and his team with the eminent people from international universities who were the member of the planning team contributed in a significant way, and they wanted to have a quality institution in the country, particularly to focus on technology, so that we maintain our requirement of high quality workforce to be available in the country, and also then of course can go abroad for further studies and come back and contribute in society. So quality is critical, and yes, we are trying to create the difference, and I can say that we are much more focused on quality. Our student-teacher ratio is much better, which is another important indicator. Infrastructure, lab facilities, and if you look at the composition of the faculty members, who got their terminal degree PhD. So our faculty members have the higher percentage of PhD faculty members as compared to many other universities in Pakistan. So our focus is that in almost all departments, I think in the next few years, all faculty members will have minimum qualification of PhD. At the moment, we have about 70 to 80%, but then in future we're planning to have it 100%. If you talk about some other universities in Pakistan, then the ratio of non-PhD faculty is much higher. And that actually add in towards the quality research and the projects they would like to undertake in Pakistan and linkages they would like to establish in
अच्छा, एक कोचेस बड़ी जब भी इंटरेक्शन होता है जीकेन के साथ, उनके अंदर ना एक एबिलिटी होती है कुछ कर दिखाने की. बेशक उनको काम नहीं आता होगा, लेकिन अगर उन्होंने डिसाइड किया ना कर लेंगे तो वो कर जाते हैं. बड़ी एक वेल राउंडेड पर्सनैलिटी होती है. तो उसके बाद थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करें वो किस तरह से डेवलप हो जाती है, या फिर प्रोग्रेस इतना आप पहले इतनी क्रीम बच्चे उठाते हैं और वो आगे फर्दर क्रीम निकलते होते हैं, या फिर विन 4 साल के अंदर वो क्या हो रहा होता है.
आई थिंक ये इम्पॉर्टेंट है एंड देयर स्टे ऑफ 4 year is critical at the institute, and this is our job when they are here. I mean, and it's our prime responsibility to make sure that they not only have a comfortable environment, enabling environment where they can continue with their teaching and learning process and undertake whatever kind of assignments other than academics. So you know that in institute there are many co-curricular activities, and this is another very strong area. They're all residents of institute, boarders हैं, who can contribute, and उनका जो एक आपस में जो link बनता है of 24 hours and working late on different projects, assignments, and making themselves available for organizing various events. They put them into a little unique kind of a program and allow them to undergo through this training, which perhaps not very many other universities the kind of ecosystem is available. So from that perspective, I think they are much better in management, उनका confidence level है, उनकी training है, and they have been doing and they're good learner also. I mean, and unless you're willing to learn and new things, you can't really make the difference. So I see when at the end of 4 years they are different people, and I think that's a great element of satisfaction in faculty on our part, that at least we are making some contribution to bring the change in the life of our students, and that should continue. And once they become alumni, then still we are engaged, and then they become very important stakeholder to help and guide and give feedback to our university like other institutions, and support in different ways, and I think that bond is forever, I mean, as a alumnus of a university.
अच्छा, साथ में एक और जिक्र करते हैं जिस तरह से मैंने बताया आपको कि पाकिस्तान की जो यूथ की पॉपुलेशन है ऑलमोस्ट 100 मिलियन होगी बाय 2030. अभी पॉपुलेशन 240 मिलियन है और एक्सपेक्टेड टू ग्रो बाय 280. उसमें से 100 मिलियन यूथ होगा. तो उसके लिए अब हम कहते हैं कि पाकिस्तान की जो इकॉनमी काफ़ी स्ट्रांग होगी, 12 या 13 नंबर पे आएगी बाय 2050 2075. एजुकेशन एक की रोल होगा. मे बी आप सबको एजुकेट ना कर पाएँ, किसी को आप स्किल बेस पे लेके जाएंगे, किसी को आप वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग देंगे, लेकिन फिर भी एक अच्छा खासा परसेंटेज है जिसको यूनिवर्सिटी में आना है, तब जाके वो आपकी एम्प्लॉयमेंट का पार्ट, वर्कफोर्स का पार्ट बन पाएगा. तो डू यू थिंक कि पाकिस्तान एक राइट ट्रैक पे है कि 2030 तक जितने आपके यूथ होंगे, क्या यूनिवर्सिटीज़ इतनी कैपेसिटी है उनके अंदर कि प्रोवाइड कर पाएगी एजुकेशन?
आई थिंक ये पॉसिबल है, कोई इतना वो नहीं है. इन स्पाइट ऑफ चैलेंजेस एंड लैक ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, आई थिंक इफ़ वी कैन इम्प्लीमेंट मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजीज, then probably can do. I mean, and we may not have to have another 200 universities to reach to those levels and meet those targets. But I think technology, online education, blended platforms that you can provide like MOOCs, Coursera, and similarly open source learning platforms that are available. And I think we don't have to, I mean, really have put a lot of funding into infrastructure, but more on to focus on technology. It's not only just the campus and the labs and sporting facilities. Education technology is also very critical, and I think universities have to implement it, not only to enhance enrollment, but also contribute in lifelong learning, trainings, engage with industry, linkages, and so many, and with international collaboration, from research to joint supervision and helping in teaching and learning process, or an exchange program in terms of students going from our part of the world and then welcoming the international students. So I think it's a challenging, but at the same time it's a big opportunity also for Pakistan, and the development is certainly not possible without education and putting emphasis on science, technology, and innovation. These are the way forward, and those countries who have developed well, they have demonstrated it, and I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
आपने बात की इंडस्ट्री और एकेडमिक के लिंकेज रिलेशनशिप के ऊपर. अगर हम बाहर देखें ना, बाहर अगर आपके FYP हो रहा है या फिर मास्टर में थीसिस है, तो वो एक इंडस्ट्री के किसी खास प्रॉब्लम को पकड़ा होता है, उनके ऊपर वो काम कर रहे होते हैं. मे बी किसी गाड़ी की एरोडायनेमिक शेप के अंदर बेहतरी लेके आएंगे. वो जो उनका प्रोजेक्ट होता है वाकई में एप्लीकेबल होता है. बट इन पाकिस्तान आप 5 साल पहले उठा के देख लें, शायद ड्रोन बना रहे हैं, 2 साल बाद फिर ड्रोन बना रहे हैं, थोड़ी माइनर चेंजेस के बाद कुछ सोलर पैनल से जो भी आपके हाइब्रिड सिस्टम वो बना रहे हैं विद लिटिल बिट मॉडिफिकेशन. तो आप क्या समझते हैं कि पाकिस्तान के जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं FYP, वो इतने इनोवेटिव या बाकी इंडस्ट्री की प्रॉब्लम को क्यों नहीं डील कर पा रहे हैं, या फिर
ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट है. लेट मी ऐड हियर दैट व्हेन आई वाज इन ऑक्सफोर्ड डूइंग PhD, so my research have 2-3 different components. One was related to industry, and that was that the British Steel at that time was trying to develop crankshaft, which is used in the engines of automobiles, and they were using customary kind of material, steels in general, but then we were working on a very special kind of steels known as microlloy steel, and the advantage was that if you use that, it can eliminate 2-3 processes which are needed to attain the properties of a traditional material. So if you eliminate process, you can cut down the cost. And that part of my research was related with British Steel at that time. And we were connected. So you see that industry, academia linkages, and you're working even not only at undergrad level, but at higher level. So that research was very useful, and they've been able to implement those changes and replaced with the new advanced steels with the much lesser cost and much better properties. So there was the benefit for industry, and there was the research coming from the university. And then, of course, modeling, simulation, and other requirement, making use of softwares and electron microscopy to develop various kinds of models to understand some mechanisms that how things are happening and what are the logical reasons and how would you explain them. And that was the part related to the philosophical aspect, so that you can bring some development or advancement in the field of science on the basis of which you can be awarded proper DPhil at that time. So these are the things which are very critical. And in Pakistan, things are not that good, but now I think there is a much greater realization where I think our universities are very clear that this linkage is absolutely vital, not only in industry in Pakistan, but now in global village. I think you have a much wider range. Look at, for example, Korea, China, and many other countries. And we still need to put some kind of focus and shift in our policies, that we are not a nation of makers, we are a nation of consumers, unfortunately. And unless we bring that shift back into our policies and into our industrial development and growth program, it become very difficult. But it's a good thing that now government has realized to focus on exploration of minerals, which is very critical with the focus on IT, and of course increasing yield in agriculture are very critical elements, and you need manpower, quality workforce in these areas to make the economy stable, so that you can really make sure that your programs are aligned with the national requirement, and you are creating opportunities for employability also. So this is one of the reasons that if you look at many programs in many universities, there's a big misalignment in terms of what the industry would demand and require, and what the universities are producing. So unless we have alignment, this gap in industrial and academia linkages would be difficult to fill. But I think with the technology and with the access and with the new kind of softwares and opportunities that are available in IT and IoT and AI, I think things would be different. Industry also realized that without innovation and quality and R&D, they may not be able to compete with the competitors.
अच्छा, how do you see the future of conventional engineering? जिस तरह पहले था chemical, electrical, mechanical, civil का काफ़ी चार्म था, उसके काफ़ी prospect थे, लेकिन now the time has changed. More and more people want to go into CS या AI की तरफ. तो कितना एक shift आप देखते हैं in the admission process जो पहले हुआ करता था, और अभी क्या आपको interest नज़र आता है? या फिर जो पहले electrical का merit बड़ा high हुआ करता था electrical का, now the thing has got changed?
शिफ्ट तो है, और इट्स क्वाइट सिग्निफिकेंट, आई मस्ट से दैट, एंड आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड थिंग ऑल्सो. आई थिंक यूनिवर्सिटीज़ एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शुड बी फ्लेक्सिबल. वो हम जो पढ़ाते हैं एजाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, और अब एजाइल कंप्यूटिंग की भी बात होती है, तो आई थिंक दैट एजिलिटी हैज़ टू बी देयर. जैसे आपने क्या वन टाइम यूज टू बी much higher, get much higher preference in electrical or in some other areas in civil engineering, for example. But now with the IT and the interconnectedness of the technologies, this IT has really revolutionized the other disciplines. Machine learning as a whole is not really, something where you can really get, you can do many good things and write good algorithms and coding and programming, you can become master. But actually its applications are in multiple areas of science, engineering and technology. This shift, I think, is there, and in some institution it is affecting in a significant way. And I feel that forums like Higher Education Commission, Pakistan Engineering Council and other government departments, they have to, I think, set up some sort of forums to analyze and see that what is the demand in our future, let's say 10, 20 years, and that kind of forecasting unfortunately is not there. Those foresight reports are not there, that which area we would like to expand in next 20 years, how the Pakistan would look like in terms of IT sector, in terms of manufacturing sector or agriculture or health or whatever. But having said that, I think there's another change which is happening, and that is that people are moving away from these traditional nomenclature, chemical engineering and material engineering and civil engineering. Ab energy problems ko, you have to deal with them, and then you need a team of interdisciplinary nature. Similarly, अगर आप किसी डैम पे काम कर रहे हैं, जैसे हमारे यहाँ नॉर्थ में डैम्स बन रहे हैं, तो you need civil engineer, you need mechanical, you need electrical. So it's interdisciplinary. और IT और जो नए fields of science, engineering and technology, they have reduced the gap. अब वो उस तरह की वो sharp boundaries नहीं है कि it's purely in civil engineering domain. अब civil engineering में जो modern concept आ रहे हैं, उसमें सारे जो major elements हैं वो तो machine learning के हैं. अब design अगर mechanical की हम बात करते तो वहाँ पे अब latest जो है वो तो digital twin पे है. तो आपने अगर ये चीज़ें पढ़ी नहीं हैं, उनको लर्न नहीं किया, उनको सॉफ्टवेयर को आपने नहीं सीखा, तो देन देयर आर प्रॉब्लम्स. तो ट्रेडिशनल जो डिज़ाइन के जो एलिमेंट थे वो दे हैव चेंज्ड कम्प्लीटली. अगर आप आर्किटेक्चर की बात करते तो उसमें इतने अच्छे सॉफ्टवेयर हैं, लाइक बिल्डिंग इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम्स हैं और मटेरियल्स हैं और सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं, which can give you a much better, much smarter solutions. अगर आपने कोई बिल्डिंग बनानी है या आपने कोई डिज़ाइन करना है, कोई आपने हाई राइज बिल्डिंग बनानी है, ब्रिजेस पे आपने कोई, तो उसमें विदाउट यूज़ ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, एंड दैट एलिमेंट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी हैज़ टू बी integrated into the curriculum, and that's what we are doing. And of course, I mean, world over these changes are happening, so that you stay up to date, ताकि हमारे अगर graduates higher studies के लिए भी जाते हैं तो they should be in a position to catch up as fast as possible. और इंडस्ट्री भी यही चाहती है कि जी as they hire the graduates, then next day they should be on the job. So that gap of skill set got to be minimized, and this is also one of the reason of unemployment. So we are also working on providing this professional training program. We are working with the Ministry of Education in Islamabad to have a premises in a college to provide this training, 6 months training program, like in other universities, and GIK will also be working on that to facilitate and support the government's initiative to train people in IT, particularly in blockchain, data science, AI, so their chances for employability can be enhanced.
अच्छा, एक और डिबेट बड़ी चलती है पॉसिबली गूगल के आने के बाद, जब से गूगल काफ़ी कॉमन हो गया एम्प्लॉयमेंट के पर्सपेक्टिव से कि गूगल आपकी एम्प्लॉयमेंट दे रही है विदाउट डिग्री, तो उसके बाद से एक चीज़ पेसअप हो गई कि लोग ज़्यादा प्रेफर करने लगे स्किल सीखें, उसके बाद जाके कोई अच्छी जॉब करना शुरू कर दें, फ्रीलांसिंग के अंदर कर लें या फिर आउटसोर्स किसी कंपनी के साथ कर लें. इवन गूगल भी उनका एक ड्रीम होता है और एक रास्ता नज़र आता है वहाँ पे. और अभी काफ़ी लोग जो इस टाइम के ऊपर हैं जो कि ज़्यादा फॉलो कर रहे हैं कि रेदर दैन 4 साल की डिग्री में जाके अपना एक टाइम इन्वेस्ट करें, हमको शॉर्ट कोर्स करते हैं उसके बाद जाके निकल आते हैं. तो हाउ डू यू सी दिस ट्रेंड डाउन द लाइन 5-10 साल के बाद, जब ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा AI की चीज़ें आ चुकी होंगी? क्योंकि आप बिफोर द कोविड बात करें शायद AI इतना ज़्यादा कॉमन नहीं था. 2020 के बाद आप देख लें कि AI, आपका डेटा साइंस और आपके ब्लॉकचेन कितना आपका राइज कर गया हुआ है. तो हाउ डू यू सी दिस ट्रेंड?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, and बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटियाँ हैं दुनिया में जो talking about micro credits, where you learn about different kind of areas in a modular form, and then it can be integrated into your skill set and the degree program. My own view is that I think things would change fast. और ये जो हमारी है, और इस पे दुनिया में भी डिबेट हो रही है कि ये 4-year डिग्री प्रोग्राम कैन इट बी डन in 3 years or something like that, or in a shorter time, or in a condensed kind of a program, so that you can have opportunity to be employed much earlier. And yes, Google and some other organization, they're trying to put more focus on skill set rather than formal degree requirement. But I think degree requirement with some additional component will remain. You would like to have a holistic form of education, not just one element of knowledge domain that is attained as part of the module. But I think education point of view, say, or a holistic education, I think we need to look at knowledge, skills, and attitude. And from that point of view, we have to see that these elements are built with the technical education as well as the social science subjects and understanding of management. If we are talking about engineering program, economy, financial management is critical. I mean, we're talking about OB and Washington Accord. There were 12 graduate attributes, and putting also ethics as one of the requirement to be attained at the end of 4-year degree program. Now they have reduced it to 11, and some are merged, but they have put along with knowledge, attitude. So knowledge, behavior, and attitude is also very important. And if you might have witnessed and noticed that when you apply to any multinational organization, then the knowledge is going to let you to allow to appear in the interview. But the rest is not the technical part. It's something different, part of your personality. And that I think is also another important area where university has to play a role, especially we are talking about in Pakistan, where there is a high degree of intolerance, radicalization, division in society. So we talk about society 5.0 Japanese concept. We talk about sustainable society. So I think we have a lot of elements which we have to remove, and that can only be possible to bring harmony and tolerance into society by facilitating the youth of our country studying in various universities in Pakistan.
सर लास्ट में ये बताएं कि जो तमाम डायनामिक्स चल रहे हैं पाकिस्तान के, इकोनॉमिक टर्मोइल चल रहा है, पॉलिटिकल अनस्टेबिलिटी है, ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा है पाकिस्तान के अंदर, स्टिल जो आपके बड़े इदारे हैं, आपकी MBBS कंपनीज है या फिर बिग 4 हैं, दे आर क्लेमिंग पाकिस्तान एक अच्छी इकॉनमी इमर्ज करेगा 2050, 2060, 2075 तक. सो हाउ डू यू सी दी ग्रोथ ऑफ पाकिस्तान बाय 2040? 16 साल बाद कैसा पाकिस्तान होगा?
I think I'm quite optimistic, and I'm sure that Pakistan will do a lot better, what we have not been able to do in the past. And but I think we need to have some element of clarity and part of our policy, whether we're talking about the economy or the financial aspects. I think the resources are there. Two things which are critical. I mean, the human capital. We are quite a young country, looking at the percentage of the youth compared to some other countries, and that is not only good for us, but also if people are going abroad, they can do a lot better elsewhere. I mean, if they're looking for better opportunities outside country. And the other is the resources we have not been able to tap, unfortunately. Now there is emphasis on minerals. Look at the Rikodik. Before that was Sandek and coal, Thar. So these are, and then exploration possibilities of oil and gas. एंड आई थिंक हमें फायर फाइटिंग से निकलना चाहिए और थोड़ा सा लॉन्ग टर्म सोचना चाहिए, और उसमें देखना चाहिए कि ये जो हमारी यूथ है और इतना इससे कितना नीचे जा सकते हैं. अनफॉर्चुनेटली ऑल दी कंट्रीज इन द वर्ल्ड हैव डेवलप्ड, and I think it's time to pick up and move forward, and there's no reason why we cannot do better. माशाल्लाह हमारे यहाँ जो ह्यूमन कैपिटल है और टैलेंट है, it's the responsibility of the universities, government institutions and senior people to help and guide the youth of our country so that they can be the leaders of tomorrow and have a प्रॉस्पर सोसाइटी. हमारे जो करिकुलम में उसमें जो हमने एक और एलिमेंट ऐड किया वो SDGs एज सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स हैं. तो प्राइमरीली उसमें भी यही चीज़ें हैं जो उसके अंदर 3 क्लासिफिकेशन है, people, prosperity and planet. तो आई थिंक दैट्स ए गुड रोड मैप. पाकिस्तान इज़ ऑल्सो सिग्नेटरी. तो हमें अपने तल्लकात अच्छे रखने चाहिए नेबर्स के साथ, और जो टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलपमेंट की अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं उनको एक्सप्लोर करना चाहिए और फैसले सही करने चाहिए. दैट कैन ओनली लुक एट मैनी अदर कंट्रीज़. वाई कांट वी फॉलो चाइनीज़ मॉडल, टर्किश मॉडल और सो मैनी अदर जिन्होंने पॉवर्टी एलिविएशन के अंदर इतना ज़बरदस्त काम किया है, और मिलियंस ऑफ पीपल हैव मूव टू इन ए मच prosper status of life, and certainly we can also do better, and let's hope and pray that will be a very different, vibrant.
काफ़ी insightful discussion रही, especially OBE model के अंदर के basically क्या क्या.
Yeah, you see, OBE is not only हमने तो सिर्फ education के लिए implement किया ना. It's not only, it's the performance and outcomes. So if at the end of the session there is a good outcome, then you will be happy and satisfied. So it's anything you're doing. It's your day's work in your industry or in the lecture hall or working with students in the lab. So what is the outcome at the end of the session? And I think if the answers are positive, then we are in a good position, and the students get facilitated.
और सेकेंडली आपने ये भी बताया कि जो करिकुलम होता है इंस्टीट्यूट के बजाय ये आपकी रेगुलेटरी पर डिपेंड करता होता है पीईसी एचईसी के अंदर जो
टू एन एक्सटेंड, लेकिन स्टिल हाँ स्टिल यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के पास है
क्योंकि नॉर्मल कन्फ्यूजन स्टूडेंट्स को ये आती है कि यूनिवर्सिटीज़ क्यों नहीं अपडेट कर रही होती, अल्टीमेटली इसका रेगुलेटरी दोनों मिल मिला के ही चीज़ें
नहीं, अपडेट तो करनी चाहिए। कुछ एलिमेंट्स हैं जो कि रिक्वायर्ड होते हैं, उनको आप शायद इतना चेंज नहीं कर सकते, बट अगर कोई नए कोर्सेज इंट्रोड्यूस करने हैं, आपने किसी खास स्पेशलाइजेशन की तरफ जाना है, तो उस पर कोई ऐसी वो नहीं है। एंड दैट इज़ द यूनिकनेस। आई मीन यू कांट हैव सेम curriculum like in school or in colleges. Universities are different and based on their own strength and facilities and the vision of that university, you actually make the contribution.
वंस अगेन सर थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम। उम्मीद करता हूँ हमारी ऑडियंस को ये पॉडकास्ट पसंद आई होगी रिगार्डिंग एजुकेशन के ऊपर कि क्या क्या मसले आते हैं जब बंदा बाहर पढ़ने जाता है। कंपेयर हमने वी ट्राइड कि हम कंपेयर करें पाकिस्तान के एजुकेशन को बाहर के एजुकेशन के साथ और क्या डेवलपमेंट हो रही है। होप सो पाकिस्तान का फ्यूचर बड़ा ब्राइट है। जैसे सर ने मेंशन किया कि पाकिस्तान में रिसोर्सेज बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, जो सिर्फ एक्शन लेने की चीज़ है कि आपने डिसीजन लेने और राइट डायरेक्शन के अंदर। Audience, if you liked our podcast, then please subscribe to our channel. Khuda Hafiz till the next episode.